Good morning. It's Friday morning, and as we approach the weekend and our time of worship together on Sunday, I thought we would reflect on the psalm which is our call to worship this Sunday, Psalm 13. Psalm 13 is a psalm of David, one of a category of psalms that we call the Psalms of Complaint, because in them the psalmist is very human and just bears his soul, bears his heart about the things that trouble him, the things that he complains to God about. The first words of this psalm are these: "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" Now, David knew better, but at this time in his life, he was reflecting on those hard things in his life, the things he couldn't forget, the times that Saul was chasing him about like a wild animal, or his enemies were gathered around him. And he responds with the question, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever?" The hard things in our lives that we can't forget sometimes lead us to question whether God remembers us, whether he forgets us. And of course the answer is no, but we're right to at least ask the question and have doubts, because that's who we are as human beings. And so David has his doubts, David has his questions. 19 years ago today, there were 4 coordinated attacks upon the nation, terrorist attacks by Al-Qaeda, all involving aircraft. 2 aircraft that plunged into the Twin Towers in Manhattan, one that plunged into the Pentagon in Virginia, and one that was almost certainly aimed at Washington, D.C., but was commandeered by some heroes on board and plunged into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, before it reached the Capitol. It was one of those memories that you don't forget. You knew where you were, you know where you were, I do, when those attacks happened. And maybe at the time, and maybe even now, there are some who wonder whether God has forgotten us. Where was God? And we have questions, we have doubts. Well, one of the great things about the Psalms of Complaint is that they always end by answering the question with the things that we know. And that's what we should do in our lives. The questions we have, the doubts we have, we should always answer with the things that we know. And so at the end of this psalm, David says this: "But," he uses the word "but." These psalms often end with the word "but." "But I have trusted in your steadfast love, O Lord. I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord." That's David's answer. Doesn't mean that he didn't still have doubts, didn't still have questions, but he answers them with the things that he knows to be true. And that's the way we should answer the questions in our lives. So I don't know what hard things that you're going through, what hard things are in your memory that you can't let go of, what doubts they stir up in your mind. But always remind yourself of the things that you know, your trust in the Lord. I'll end with some words by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this. He said, "What lies behind you and what lies before you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you." I don't think Ralph Waldo Emerson was a Christian, but that's definitely a Christian viewpoint, because it's in Christ alone that we can face the future, the past, that we can answer the questions and doubts that we have with the things that we know to be true. So, have a wonderful Friday. Look forward to worship with you on Sunday. God bless.